The afternoon with a panel. As you can see, we're going to fill the chairs. And we have the one and only John Falacara, who's going to be moderating. Who knows John here? Do we all know John? Yeah. Okay, John is the founder of the Biohackers magazine and Lifespanning Media, serial entrepreneur, scientist, author, athlete, public speaker, author of Neuroscience Calisthenics, Hijack Your Body Clock. If you have not seen him on Instagram, you must.
So thank you for being here today. And the topic of our talk is going to be ancient wisdom and technology and what the future is with health, biohacking, and longevity.
Hey everyone, my name is Brandon Amalani. I run BluShield.com, a few different companies, Vitality, which is the home of Paul Harris's cold plasma technology known as the Theraphi, ARC PEMF, and SHEN Blossom, which is Japanese herbs and formulas.
Thank you.
Hey, Philipp von Holtzendorff-Fehling. I founded Leela Quantum Tech and Quantum Upgrade. I'm from Germany originally, but live in the US. I'm in Costa Rica. And yeah, I'm an avid tennis player and Kundalini Yoga teacher trainer. That's about it.
Hi, my name is Compton Bada. I am the founder of Ascended Health. I'm a microbiologist and I deal with ancient microbes called the keystone microbes. It's been around for about 3 million years, and I formulate all my products to help regenerate, repair, and heal the gut.
Hi, everyone. My name is Wendy Cohn-Osborn. I'm the co-founder of Code Health. We have a line of bioenergetic therapeutics, which are an alternative to over-the-counter and prescription medication. We also educate people in the importance of what they put on and in their body. This is what will bring people to ultimate wellness. Thank you for having me.
Hi, my name is Jyun. I moved from the U.S. to Switzerland since last year to open up the institute to help high-performance elite athletes to longevity. And I combine ancient wisdom and modern science that making a very specific protocol for each individual, how we can optimize their well-being. Well, thank you.
I'm Leila Centner, the CEO and founder of Centner Wellness. And we're just here to help you improve your overall wellness. And if you feel great, make you feel even better. If you don't feel well, take you to the next level.
Thank you. So thank you guys for this short introduction. We are energy. That's what we say. Some are more energy than others. Do you think we are energy? Who agrees with that? So, okay, I can go back home. It's over. If we are energy, today we're talking about having supplements, having peptides, having optimization of our bodies. But how do we transpose the optimization of humans into the frequency we have in our body, the energy we emit? The quantum energy has been like a revolution in 2021 when the Nobel Prize for quantum entanglement was published. It was a revolution, knowing that a particle from one side of the world can move a sister particle on the other side of the world was a surprise to everyone. Einstein was right at that time. Now, are we right about this, saying that it is as important as taking supplements and aligning what we have in our bodies with our inner energy? Who wants to start? Maybe the quantum guy.
The quantum guy, okay. Well, thanks for the great introduction and also even talking about the topic of energy and frequency. I think that speaks to the time we're in, because 5 years ago, we wouldn't have had a panel discussion like that. And the fact that there's so many people listening to this is also a great statement. So from my perspective, really the biofield comes first, and energy and frequency is way more important than physical supplementation, because at core, we're only energy and frequency, because also the matter that we are is energy and frequency. So that's where it all starts. And if we don't take care of the biofields, then, we don't also need to take...
Can you explain what is the biofields?
Yes. So that's basically what we are and what we vibrate, and it extends way beyond the physical body. So what we can see is, you're that tall and, you have these muscles and all of that, right? That's what we can see. That's our physical body. But our energy body extends way beyond that.
Was that
beyond that.
Yeah, was that called the aura?
Yeah, so you can call it aura. That's more the esoteric term. Mm-hmm. So I try to use the word biofield because you can even visualize it with Killian photography. It's a scientific method. Yeah. You can show it, and you can show different ways on how that biofield can also change. And so that biofield determines how we feel, and also basically how we are on a physical level, because you actually cannot even be sick with the disease if you don't have it in your field. It's impossible, absolutely impossible. So that means the information and the resonance of being sick, or getting some learning out of or teaching out of a disease needs to be there in order to actually physically be sick. That's why very gifted seers can see a cancer developing already in a biofield of someone, even though an oncologist may not see anything yet. So that's how important it is. I'm not saying that supplements aren't important. Of course, all the physical things are incredibly important. I think this statement is important nowadays because we've only taken care of our physical existence, and it's time that we take care of the energetic existence too.
So the goal of the future of medicine would be to align the quantum energy.
Yeah, so from my perspective, really the goal of the future of medicine from a real heart perspective is that we allow holistic healing. And what that means is that we allow everything that's available that helps us heal, and use and leverage that, and not just focus on one area, the pharmaceutical area as one example, and just allow that. Now that's probably one of the worst examples, right? Because if we can only use what has tons of side effects, that's not such a great idea. So we should take into account everything, and frequency medicine will play a huge role for sure. And Einstein told us that already a long time ago. The future of medicine, the future of medicine will be the medicine of frequencies.
Yeah, we know that, and Tesla as well. I see you saying yes, yes, yes. Why do you say yes, yes? You agree?
I totally agree. I mean, Philipp, you took my line, right? We always say it, Lisa, and I always say the future of medicine is now, because what we're seeing is bioenergetic therapeutics as an example. And all it is utilizing subtle energy patterns to shift the biology. So our bodies, we are energy. This is how you started off.
Definitely.
So our breath, think about our breath. It's our life force. How does our breath work? Well, it's through energy. Our heart.
That's the first thing you do when you were born.
That's right.
That's the first thing you do in life. Breath.
You take a breath.
Right.
Our heart pumps.
Right.
Our bodies work through energy. So why not? Doesn't it make sense that these subtle energy patterns are able to shift our biology?
Dr. Jyun?
Yes, thank you. So, to really address that, the frequency that we talk about the supplementation, because through my practice, I always wonder, because the patients brings their supplements, or they say, "Hey, doctor, should I take vitamin D?" So now, early my practice was that, okay, well, only I know 3 companies vitamin D, and then I will choose this, based on the research and data. But now, through the understanding the vibration, frequency, and energy, each product has a different set of frequency. So now, really coming to the true core of this energetic imprint, that first you have to read each person's frequency, where they vibrate, where they are. Then the body gonna tell us which supplement frequency going to resonate with you. So to me, the true finding of what you need to do at the moment of time, you have to tune into the person's frequency. They find which one to amplify that effect. So that can be supplement, that can be drop, remedy, and quantum energy tools, brain tap. All those things become relevant. But the really truth is that you really have to tap into the person's energy.
But that's a fantastic question, because I heard yesterday, for example, that you need to align your body with and have a better proprioception. Means like proprioception is feeling exactly what your body is telling you. But we all agree on that, but we don't know how to improve our proprioception. We're trying to have trackers and stuff like that to help us. But as today, yes, I would love to align my energy, but first I don't measure it. I don't know how to measure it. I know I was going to you, actually. I don't know how to measure it, and I want to optimize it in order for me to understand my body better. So, Leila.
That's it. I don't want to reiterate. I mean, what you all said is amazing and totally aligned with it. But one little thing, how to measure, we actually have a machine downstairs at our booth, the BioWell. And it's super cool because what we've done with this is we've measured people's energy field before and then they go on a different machine and then measure them after. And it's really powerful how quickly you can see the change. And so we love these type of devices. We have other energy measuring devices at the Wellness Center as well that literally scans your entire body and just shows you the areas that are weak. Because again, every organ, everything has a certain frequency. And when it's not at its optimal, these machines can read it and tell you. So it's really cool technology.
So to what detail can you go when you measure these frequencies and get the feedback on the body? Can you tell me if my liver is not having the right pace? Is that right? Or
one of our machines, yes. Not the one downstairs, but one of the machines at the center literally goes through every single part of your body, and it will tell you which places have.
I don't want to go to every single part of my body yet, unless you ask for. Please, do you have an opinion on this?
Well, we actually, from my point of view, I'm a microbiologist, so we actually live in two different bodies.
Oh.
Right? So we have our etheric body, we have our physical body, we have our spiritual body. But being a microbiologist, I know that the microbes have been here for 3 billion years.
We're made of 97% microbes.
We are made of 97%.
Yeah, we're more microbes than humans.
Right. And if human beings, if we go in the ocean, right, we wouldn't think about going to the ocean without scuba diving gear. But we think we are the scuba diving gear because the microbes actually made us to live in this oxygen-filled poison. So they created the soil to live on. It's anaerobic. And they created our guts as their own personal breathing device to allow us to live. So we actually have to look and measure the energies of the microbes inside the gut. And in matter of fact, the way you actually can physically measure the biofield is through these compounds, these machines called biophotonic emission.
Explain us what it is, please.
Biophotons are very light, subtle light, like every piece of DNA in its light. We're all beings of light.
Yeah. Well, actually, when you were talking about energy, we're field of energy. I know that we shine in a different way according to the way that you feel. Like if you can be blue dark if you're sad and red if you're horny, and so on and so on.
Yeah, and so the Nobel Prize winning physician that discovered biophotons said that there are two types of biophotonic light emission. One is diffuse. So if you're a light bulb and you go farther from the light bulb, it gets dimmer over time because it's very diffuse. It means you're sick. But if you're coherent, like a laser light, you can go a mile away and it's still the same coherency. Breathing laser light. Wow. And it turns out that when you compare eukaryotic cells versus microbial
Okay, let put in your microbiologist, but what is an eukaryotic
Well, I'm
cell?
I'm just saying that microbes emit the strongest amount of biophotonic light per cell. And you can actually measure someone's biofield by measuring the biophotonic emissions, the ORP, and
Is that a machine?
It's a machine.
It's a machine?
that measures like these subtle light frequencies.
Interesting.
So when we're talking about subtle energies, we have to keep in mind the beings that are us inside our gut and see what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree. Very, very, very good point. We're made of it. Would you have an opinion on this, please?
This is all good stuff.
I hope so.
From my training and like my background, I view everything through the lens or the framework of TCM from a Japanese lineage. So we don't.
What is TCM?
Traditional Chinese medicine.
Okay.
So kind of like an ancient form of using herbs and acupuncture body work to actually heal the body and mind. But we, in that lineage, we don't really see any of this stuff as separate. The energetic, we exist on a physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, etheric, psychic levels. And basically we look to harmonize all of those with the internal and external environment. So
how do you do that?
Through training consciousness, herbs, dietary, acupuncture, body work. It's basically all of these things that we use as tools, external, whether it's electrotherapy device, herbs, any of this kind of stuff. They're just sending signals. Your body actually does the work. These things basically just create an environment or send a signal and stimulate processes that your body does. So
how do you...
we achieve yin and yang balance, or like the 5 element theory. You can think of 5 elements as like a circuit. They have constructive and destructive interference in the system. And yin and yang is the polarity, is the magnetodielectric of how nature actually works. So basically we're looking to balance. It's a very simple analogy is like you got hot water and you got cold water and you're just trying to make it warm. You're trying to create coherence, balance, so energy can flow unimpeded. And usually when we have emotional breakdowns or physical, detriment, like breaking your leg or something,
it's an unbalance,
blockage of energy and inflammation, these healing mechanisms and repair systems in the body that are endogenous, you don't have to think about. There's a natural intelligence. So basically TCM looks at the body like a garden, like look at the atmospheric conditions, the soil, how plants are interacting, what's growing by what, versus we're going to look at this thing like your carburetor's broke, so we're just going to remove that.
So are you saying that we're part of the universe, or we are one, or we're one in the universe and we're trying to balance with our external feelings and signals?
We're part of nature. We're basically like a conjugate circuit of spirit and matter. So we have a physicality. You can think of it like a ham radio. Our spirit or consciousness or what modulates the system is actually a signal that's everywhere and nowhere, but it's around and inside the body. And, that's really important key distinction, because our body, you could break a ham radio, but the signal's still everywhere.
It's still there.
It's high.
Still in the air.
So our body has a physical component that changes, and then we have a non-physical aspect of our being as well. So it's energetic and physical. If you don't have enough minerals, you don't have enough physical substance, you can't hold and retain charge as well, or distribute charge. And you see people that like practice this kind of stuff, they can actually emit tons of far infrared energy out of their body. They can do things that seem kind of supernatural, but it's just training consciousness, which is your most valuable asset, which is a super loon one.
I'm going to pick you on that.
Yeah.
Consciousness.
Yep.
Consciousness. Today, neuroscience has no clue yet what is consciousness. I'd like you guys to try to explain, our public here, what is the link between consciousness and the connection of our body, because we're talking about ancient medicine here. Why and how ancient medicine, Chinese medicine or other medicine from anywhere, have been able to talk about field of energy, and we're in 2025, almost 2026, and we haven't been able to say what is consciousness. Does anyone know what is consciousness? I have no clue today.
I mean, you're trying to define something that's ab extra and antecedent to psychophysicality. Your consciousness isn't actually of the material world, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good point. The science will go against what you just said, but it is one of the theory. Thank you for that. Philipp, you have a...
Yeah, so basically there is only consciousness. There's nothing but consciousness. And that's pretty hard to believe when we're just in our brains, in our physical bodies, because we're like, oh, but we're bodies, we can think and all of that. But that's just part of consciousness. Really, in the broader, bigger picture, there's nothing but infinite, eternal consciousness. And we're all just aspects of that infinite, eternal consciousness manifested and living in this reality, in this physical body. And therefore, we're also all one.
So you are, for this theory, we all one?
It's not a theory.
We're not one?
I happen to know it, indeed.
Yeah.
Because
so we're all connected, that's what you meant?
Yeah. So you can only experience it. Once you've experienced it, this oneness, basically, then you know, and it's hard to explain because it's so vast, so big that you can't have even words for it, so you can only try to put it in words. But we're not the same in this reality. So that's a very important distinction, because in this reality, we're all completely different, right? I mean, he and I are not alike. We're not alike. Everyone is very unique. It's a unique expression of this super consciousness, basically, manifested in these bodies. But we do have this constant connection to the super consciousness. Call it God, call it super consciousness. To me, it doesn't matter how you call it. God is a label that the people give it, and to me, certainly it's not this guy sitting on a cloud. It's because God is everything. Super consciousness is everything. And that's one thing to remember, that we're all part of that, and we can always connect with it. So, and now we're living here, and why do we live here, right?
That's a great question.
Next question.
That is a great question. Well, life without purpose is no life. Yeah.
It's to experience yourself.
Yeah.
Because consciousness needs to experience itself. And that's why we're here in these physical bodies, and we have the great opportunity to live this life and to biohack and do all these great things. But what I'm trying to tell you is that we're all incredibly powerful because we're so connected with the super consciousness. We're not little me's that run around. And to your question, because I think you came to this question, why don't we understand this nowadays? That's because of the ages and how the cycles go. We come out of the dark ages. And in the dark ages, humans and beings forget what we are and what we're made of, because it's all material and dense. You've heard about the Kali Yuga, maybe, right? We didn't need to get into this, but it's this age we're moving out of where everything becomes more transparent. And that's why you will see in 5 years that this room won't be enough for the people sitting here to listen to a panel like this. It'll be filled 5 times, because more and more people wake up to the fundamental truth that we're energy and frequency. And it's not that you can say, well, there's maybe a group that wants to suppress it. It totally doesn't matter. It just is the way it is, that now we're waking up to that. And I think that's the beauty of the moment that we live in right now.
Thank you, Philipp. Yeah. Oneness versus ownness. And in 5 years, we're going to be younger. Anyway, we don't care. We're biohacking, so we go reverse. Leila?
I think he said it very right.
He said it very well. What's your take on oneness versus ownness? Are we part of the universe? And every action we have on this planet has an impact and a reaction?
I tell my daughters all the time, like, the words that you put out there into the universe impacts everything and everyone. So just mind everything that you say it loud, the thoughts you think.
True.
You know, that the vibrational energy that's around you and around us is so important, and it's very powerful. And I know before I began my spiritual journey, I was a walking unconscious human.
That's an interesting definition.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of how my actions were impacting others. I wasn't aware of how my actions were impacting my own body, my thoughts, nothing. And it took, a trip to India of 30 hours each way, 5 times in 1 year, to truly understand the power of our mind and really how we're all connected. We truly are all one. And so when we're fighting, it has an impact. All of these wars, all of this insanity that it doesn't need to happen.
It's because we create it. Yeah, thank you, Leila. So you understand? You better be nice. Otherwise, you're going to pay the price. Are you nice enough? Show me how nice you are.
It's all about reality that I create my own perception, but the people can perceive whatever they want to perceive.
Yeah.
But, in the end, I think concept of this oneness, right? So that reflection of me, inner me, reflecting back from the outer universe. So when we are connected, so that when I feel angry, that's a reflection of this whole connection as a wholeness, a oneness, right? So constantly I have to reflect myself, what am I projecting, what I'm receiving from the outer world.
Interesting. So you mean, and I'm going to switch over the microphone to you to answer the question I'm going to ask him. You mean that, yeah, that's it. That's fine. So you're one. If you are a bad person, you're going to attract bad things. And how does that affect your inner energy? Because it's a reaction that you create. And how does that affect the way that you're going to live long enough or not long enough? So you're emitting certain energy according to all of you guys. And I'm a bad person. But I'm still alive. So where is my karma? What is my karma doing? And I mean, like, how do you perceive that? What's the impact of being bad on your health? And how do we control it? Because it's great. You travel to India or across the world for that journey. But if I'm not able to go to these places and to understand the concept of it, what do I do? What is the process of aligning my chakras?
Well, consciousness it's not material. And what we are, the energy that we exude that energy. But what we're here for is really to learn our own personal lesson.
Okay, explain me this.
Well, I don't know this factually. Sometimes I pretend.
We all pretend, don't worry about it.
But I feel like we are here, and this is all for all of you, this is all very new to me as well. I would have been one of you sitting there, except for 2.5 years ago, I got into this world and I just started to learn about energy, consciousness, frequency. And when you really understand that we're here to learn our own lesson, and each of us collectively is one. And when we're ready to learn that lesson, and when we fulfill that karma, then we can then move on to the next level. That's really what I believe. So, at the end of the day, I believe that our actions speak vastly. And if you are not a good person, it may not necessarily, nothing may happen to you right at that moment. But I do believe your vibration and your karma will come back to you. But until you learn that lesson, you'll keep coming back until that lesson is learned.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. How the germs are doing into that.
I don't know how the germs are. Trying to answer the whole consciousness question. I think when you really think about it, when we were born on this earth, it's very difficult to be a human being.
It is.
So you can be a rock or an insect. Or we were chosen to be a human being. God asked us one question: would you carry this unique frequency for me into this world? Yeah. But he said, a lot of times you're going to feel invisible. You'll feel ignored, but it's because the world doesn't reflect that signal yet. It's not reflecting your frequency. So we chase. And chasing is like the biggest form of weakness. When you're chasing, you become a bad person. You start to do things that's against your ethos. But if you be still and you keep forgiving and you keep being thankful, and most importantly, you stay sovereign, you watch the world revolve around your signal.
You're talking about gratitude in general? Yes.
Gratitude and forgiveness is
forgiveness.
the most.
Yeah. Apparently, in terms of science and neuroscience, there is a big impact of gratitude on your body for sure.
Yeah, your serotonin and
Exactly.
dopamine.
Yeah, we'll go back to the guts.
You want to go back to the
That's it. Yeah. The serotonin.
You know, it's so I was brought up Catholic, and it was very blasphemous to say that you weren't part of God. But, you know, having done this work, I say it's blasphemous to say you're not part of God, because he asked us all to come into this world holding a particular frequency. And if you can just stay holding your signal, the world will revolve around your signal. Don't chase.
I love it. Very, very cool. Thank you. What about Chinese medicine into that? They knew it?
Yeah, I mean, karma is kind of a well-known or
Yeah, that's like,
thing.
it's almost a brand.
So we kind of know. Yeah, exactly. It's got all its connotations to it. It implies a cause and effects.
Right.
And what a lot of like the Qigong guys talk about is, and I think everybody can relate to this. You go into a room where somebody's been stewing and they're super angry for a long period of time, and they're not there anymore, but you walk into that room, it's almost like it leaves an energy imprint. You can actually feel the pain that was in that room. We're sensitive to these kind of informational fields that are developed. And because we're electromagnetic, we actually can imprint areas with our own consciousness and our feelings as well. So it's pretty well known that, you want to basically check yourself, the more you can move your intention, energy, emotion, mentality, if that can all move as one fluid chi, that's Qigong. It's like mastering your own energy endogenously so you can influence how you project yourself into the world, basically.
We have fantastic theories on this. We all agree about the energy and the field of energies. But the main question remains, what's the daily practice? Like today I wake up in the morning, I stretch, I drink my water, salt, lemon, whatever. How do I align all my energy to be, as you said, in one field and not like being full of chaotic energies or angry or whatever? What's the process? I'd like you guys, one after the other, repeat what do you do in the morning when you wake up to get aligned with your proper energy and make sure that your field of energy is where you want to go?
It's a good question. The nature of the mind is the think.
All right.
The nature of thoughts are the wonder. So a lot of people try and control it with meditation. What I found is that like a stable practice is doing just basic standing like a tree Qigong, and basically you do a standing meditation. And the idea, as far as a focal point for the mind, is just to kind of scan the body. You maintain structure, but you become relaxed. Not so relaxed that you're collapsed, but you're not like standing rigid. And then you'll notice if you stand there for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, that you'll notice where tension builds up in the body. And then you consciously relax that and you melt it. It's called the dissolving technique. And doing that just 5 minutes a day, just first thing in the morning is kind of the most ideal. You can do it grounded, not grounded, doesn't matter. It's basically you're harmonizing the mind and the body to kind of work in unison, and that builds coherence within the cellular structure and makeup of the body.
Beautiful. I like that. Philipp, what do? You go in your quantum box in the morning?
I wish. Sort of. I'm 24/7 in the quantum upgrade, so
Yeah, that would be cool.
I am actually quantum upgrade 24/7. But so for me, it's nowadays not anymore something that I do every day. It's more something that I do by the moment.
Why is that?
Because I found a lot of great concepts and things that I even would recommend. And I'm going to say a few things that I would recommend for people that are just starting the journey of getting connected, getting tuned in. And there's lots of great stuff out there. Meditation is one, Qigong, Tai Chi.
And the push-ups are starting now. Things.
But I arrived at some point where it's not for me a concept or a tool that I need to, or something I need to practice. It's something, rather practice it or do it always. Like, for example, just sitting here right now and just witnessing that there is only this moment. That's one of the most powerful things, because some may not grasp what I'm trying to tell you, but there is no past and there is no future. There's only this everlasting
moment
now. And if you fully arrive in this everlasting now, in this moment, it's so freaking magical. And that's meditation.
Love it.
That's the meditation. You can do that when you play tennis, when you, have a dinner with your loved one or whatever. that's where I think it arises. And in the morning when I wake up, I
You're just
have
yourself.
impulse and do that. If I can, of course, then you have all these things you need to do because you run a company and you can't always just do what your impulse tells. Right? But I try to do that in the morning at first for like 30, 60 minutes before I start all the stuff I have. Because then that's, I think, the key is to connect with what's inside. Because we're so trained to connect with what's outside, with what the media tells us, what media it may be, right? It doesn't matter whether it's X or Instagram or it's TV. It doesn't really matter. It's not our inside. So connect with the inside. And here's the one thing that helped me a lot is it's way quicker than meditation. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is don't grab your phone, don't talk to anyone. Ask yourself, how do I feel? And just for 1 minute, listen. You don't even have to have an answer. You just listen and stay with it. And then at night, when you go to bed, the last thing you do, again, no phone, no talking, you ask yourself, how do I feel? Maybe also ask yourself, how was my day? And then just let it come.
Let it go.
There isn't even an answer. And do that for 2 weeks and it'll transform your life.
I agree. And it's important to do it in the morning and at night because actually your brain is open to it in the first hour when you wake up and an hour before you actually fall asleep. That's where your brain is the more open to get this type of information. Please, it's your turn.
Well, I agree with you. And asking yourself. And
but everybody agree. I would have loved to have people fighting for ideas, but you all agree.
Well, the first thing I do every morning when I can is I hug my daughter and thank her for just being the being that daughters me. I hug my partner.
I love it.
And saying the same thing and just being grateful, just getting that out of the way and just being grateful for everything in your life, especially your health, the fact that I can breathe. I can stand up looking at all the other people that haven't treated their body like the temple that we all are treating our body, right? Yeah. And being grateful that we're in a community here where and you can look in everyone's eyes that our body is our only temple. And then the second thing is, just as a treatment to get yourself out of victimhood, like notice how you've been languaging yourself the day before. It's like, instead of saying, I have to do this, you can say, I get to do this. Or, why did this happen to me? I don't deserve this thing. Like, what kind of lessons is God giving me to earth to make me improve and to kind of look and get better decisions for not doing it again? And just, the act of forgiveness of yourself is probably one of the most important things that I do. And, finally, just reminding yourself again, like we are here to resonate your signal and resonate the frequency that you've been asked to. And just because no one's paying attention to you, it's because the world hasn't reflected it yet. Just be patient.
Yeah. Beautifully said. I agree with you. Oh.
So, just like you said, gratitude is everything. So I really wake up every morning and I think about the things that I'm grateful for. And then when I get out of bed, I've actually incorporated 2 very important things, and I'll switch the narrative to devices. Because here we're at a wellness event, and we're talking about different devices and modalities that are very important and can help us all benefit our lives. So the first is that we are all energetic beings. And of course, I take my code drops, but putting the code aside, we're made up of water. And it's very important to understand.
67% water.
Is that the correct percentage? 67%
water
is what? That's
we can argue that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I utilize a device called Living Water, and it puts your body, the sphere puts your body into coherence.
How does that work?
Well, you'd have to ask the living water people the technical answer.
Where is he?
But within the sphere, the living water is within the sphere, and then it works with your body, and it just puts your body into coherence. And the more that your body and the water is in coherence in your body, everything else that you're going to do will work better. The other thing is the Leela quantum. I believe that what Philipp has and what his company has done is truly next level. The block, I use the block for everything. I put my food in the block. I put my liquids in the block. I put my plants in the block. And so it's also helping neutralize everything that's happening in my home as well. So I think that's very important also. And then molecular hydrogen inhalation is something that I've incorporated because it is so important, the hydrogen and how it enhances your body as well.
Hydrogen is in water.
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah. So thank you. Yeah. Dr. Jyun.
So for me, so from the sleep to waking, with the unconscious or subconscious become conscious, so that the moment the transition is very critical to realize as a human experience. So first the awareness comes on, the first breath is that, okay, I'm alive.
But you're still alive during the night. You're still alive.
Conscious now, conscious alive. So check, put appreciation, gratitude, number one, to entire my body. So the creation of the higher self, God, the source. Thank you so much. Every single cell, because like I said, the 67% is water, but 99% structure speaking, we have, all the water structure.
Right.
So it's give all the information to the, it's thanking to every single cell. So that's mind, checking the feeling as an emotion, then bring that to energetically how I feel. And in the last, check the physical body. They need to be hydrated, so grab some water. So I had this every morning ritual to really just kind of come back to the human conscious mind living, the appreciation, and then to intent to create, experience of life.
Yeah, thank you, Leila.
First thing I do when I open my eyes is I thank God for another day. And I try to sneak out of the bed before my kids wake up if they still sleep with us.
Welcome to the reality of living and having kids.
Yes, and they're adorable. And one day I know they're not going to want to anymore, so I savor these moments. And then I try and just go outside, and I like gazing at the clouds and just...
The sunshine before 10, yeah.
Yes, and just feeling one with the world, nature, and just meditate and breathe to center and ground myself. And one of the things I love to do before I go to bed is just tell everybody how much I love them, especially my little munchkins and my amazing husband, and just realize how precious life is, and that we don't know how much time we have with each other.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, I lost a brother at 38. So we just, you just don't know. And so just to really remind your family how much you love them.
I agree.
And of course, once they fall asleep, then I try and meditate again, just to calm my own nervous system, because sometimes the days are very hectic and I need to bring myself down. I definitely wouldn't drink one of these at night, but they're good if anybody hasn't had, or highly recommend it. And just...
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leila. So yeah, it reminds us that life is precious, and we often forget that we're not eternal. One of my friends is saying, don't die, but I think we're going to die one day. Matter of fact. So every day is a precious day. It reminds us that we need to align ourselves with who we are, the people we love, the energy behind everything. We're one, or we're part of the universe. It's a debate to have. Consciousness is another one. Now I would like to hear you asking question to these guys, because I don't have any more questions. All right, who's first? You're smiling. Yeah, you do have question. I'm sure you have a question. At least one question.
I'm always happy to ask a question because actually frequency medicine is what changed my life and brought me into this space. And so I guess, let's think, what could I say for people to be more curious about utilizing? And I know code is something I love. I love my quantum, but as far as like the physical frequency into the body, right? And utilize it. We had a wonderful discussion of how not all frequencies are good for us. And so how would you suggest for someone wanting to move in or transition into this to know, okay, what can I trust? Is it going to be something that is resonant with me? Is it a dark frequency? How can you justify, like, what is a good frequency?
Beautiful question. Who wants to answer this question? You're smiling. It's going to be you. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Great compliments. So for me, my tools I teach and preach called the FSR, frequency specific resonance testing. Well, form of people call applied kinesiology, AK testing. I have developed my own testing I do to see this frequency that I'm receiving or I'm encountering, is this amplifying my frequency or canceling or the distract more. So I check a tool that I teach people and this self-testing to see if it's true or not. So that's just my take on this one. Yeah.
Thank you. More question? I'm going to run to you there. Please.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Hi, Mary Jo Pinedo, and my son and I had a life-changing experience with the Centner Wellness Center and really introduced us to the power of frequency, the theta chamber, and being able to, I hear a lot of you talking about tapping into in the morning, in the night, right before you go to sleep or when you wake up because you're accessing the consciousness. How important is it during your day to kind of tap into that same frequency, or how do you access that space that you feel that is really connected to your inner self?
Beautiful. Now it's a challenge. If I see someone smiling up there, Leila, don't turn your head, it's for you.
I was going to do the same thing. She's smiling now.
I don't know how to answer that question as well as I think.
Okay, let's do it.
Philipp.
Happy to do it. Okay. So I don't want to sell you anything, but for me, it's really the quantum upgrade. And why is that the case? Because what you said about the living water is actually what our technology does. It brings your body into full coherence with yourself, with the inner parts of yourself. You can call it your blueprint or whatever it is. And that, if that is constantly invited to come out and to be present, that is how you can 24/7 help that without thinking about it. So it's the most convenient way of meditating and getting the inner voice and the inner power out, even though you don't need to do something. So at the same time, I still advise do something. Do yoga, do maybe meditation or whatever it is in between. Sit for a minute or two and just be calm, all these things to further amplify it. But that's what I would recommend, right? To just get out of the noise, get into the stillness, or connect with nature, right? There are really countless examples, but it's not what's the noise. So if it's the noise, then it doesn't help you to bring out your inner world. That's what I would say.
Right. And noise is frequencies as well. So I was saying it's over. Last one. Okay, just for you. Sorry, guys. Of course.
So a question from the question is, when Jesus Christ went to the well for the Samaritan woman and asked for some water, she, gave him some water, and I was getting him some water, and he said, I have water, living water, and if you drink from this, you will never thirst again. And of course, she challenged him and said, the well is deep, and you have nothing to draw the water with. And I'm wondering if this cup, what was in his cup that we would never thirst again?
Why?
What was in this living water? What was the frequency of it in that chalice? And I wonder if maybe it was gratitude. Because when we're in gratitude, we're no longer thirst for things.
True.
So I wonder what the panel thinks about that.
The frequency of gratitude.
The frequency of gratitude. I see you smiling there. Frequency of gratitude. And it's going to be last question, guys. And last answer.
What do
you think? Oh, it's actually for code. It's fantastic. It's a great.
For code is frequency.
Of gratitude?
Excuse me?
Of gratitude?
Well, we actually have, again, it's not about a specific product, but it's very interesting because we started with drops that you take, and now we have non-ingestible product. And what we've done is the same thing in terms of imprinting things like gratitude and joy and happiness into what we're calling the code quartz. And that code quartz holds the frequencies or the energy patterns of this information. And then you take that quartz and you put it into the things that you are already using. And so, for example, body lotion or face cream or shampoo or eye cream, but anything that you put on your body, because what you put on your body is just as important as what you are putting in your body.
In your body, yeah.
So it's imprinted things like that with positive frequencies that when you put them on your body, it actually enhances yourself and everything around you.
Thank you. I'm full of gratitude for you guys listening to this today. Thank you so much. Big applause for our guest here. Thank you for listening.